Welcome back for another edition of NC Sports Weekly News. Lots happening on the water. Aussies Belcher and Ryan bagged their fourth consecutive 470 World Championships in La Rochelle. And Kiwis Ale Hempowery take gold in the women's division. Macmillan and the Wave Muscat hold back Alinghi and Cardiff for Act 6 of the Extreme Sailing Series. Courtney Conlock grabs the Swatch Girls Pro France, while Nikki Van Dijk wears the junior crown. AC34 update. Tomorrow's Sailing Pros at the very first Youth America's Cup in San Francisco. ETNZ and Oracle Racing poised for the finals, yet controversy still looms on the Defender. NC Sports, plunge into the action. With a comfortable 6th place finish in the medal race and still carrying a 7-point lead from the qualifying rounds, Matt Belcher and Will Ryan hit the poker by winning their 4th consecutive World Championships in the 470 class. From the shores of Weymouth and their 2012 Olympic gold to just a year ago to the racecourse here in La Rochelle, the remarkable Australian duo continues to dominate the men's division. Plenty of credit is also due to Viktor Kovalenko, now with his 16th world title as coach in the 470 class. France also matched last year's performance with Pierre Leboucher and his new bowman Nicolas Lebert, taking the silver here in their home waters. While after 5 long years and several near misses, Panagiotis Mantis and Pavlos Kagialis of Greece finally managed to step on the podium for a well-deserved bronze medal. Similar story in the women's 470s as Joe Allen and Polly Powery were also celebrating their 1-year London Olympics gold anniversary. With a silver in 2010 and a bronze in 2011, the New Zealand pair completed the roster here in La Rochelle with a hefty 20-point lead over the pack. Austrians Lara Vadla and Yola Ogar fought to the very end to clinch a second spot, while Wang Xiaoli and Huang Shufeng make sailing history by winning the bronze and the first medal ever for China in a 470 class Worlds. Thanks to an impressive 14-point advantage built over 28 races, reigning world champions Leigh Macmillan and the Wave Muscat win their 3rd consecutive event in the Extreme Sailing Series, once again setting back Ernesto Bertarelli's Alinghi. With 8 teams on the water in Cardiff for Act 6 of the championship, the Omani crew won 11 races and grabbed another 5 podium placements.
If we sail well like we did today, we know that there's every chance we can come out with the series, and we've been doing that all year, and we'll continue to try and do the same. But you know, with the likes of Morgan out there and the SAP guys coming through very strong now, you know, there's no guarantees, and if they sail well, it's going to be very hard for us.
Alinghi helmsman Morgan Larson could not contain the wave that now leads the series, and the two are now poised for a duel to the last act on the Extreme 40 catamarans, separated by a single point in the overall scoreboard.
We're just so happy to be at the front of the pack and have a shot at it. You know, got to hand it to the guys on the wave. They stayed sharp all the way through. We kind of thought if there was room for us to sort of have a little momentum and maybe punish them a little bit. There was these conditions today, but you know, they answered with some amazing sailing and showed us that they don't have any weaknesses.
With Nice on the calendar for early October and the final event in Brazil for mid-November, the challenge is now getting down to the wire. Included in the renowned Cardiff Harbour Festival, this ESS event gathered huge stadium-sized crowds, reportedly estimated at 120,000, as light winds turned the racing into a game of tactics and finesse. The battle for 3rd place was fought equally hard as SAP Extreme, captained by Jess Graham Hansen and with Rasmus Kostner on tactics, contained Roman Hagara's Austrians on Red Bull for their third podium position of the season. Both teams are now set for the final rush with a mere 2-point difference overall. Great show for the new China Spirit team skippered by Kiwi Phil Robertson, who bagged an honorable 5th place in their racing debut on these 40-foot cats. All eyes are now on the upcoming French venue, since Act 7 could likely become the early decider for the world title in the 2013 Extreme Sailing Series. California's Courtney Conlogue clinched the Swatch Girls Pro France on her birthday, winning back-to-back heats and even posting a near-perfect 9.60 in the final. The world's number 3 defeated the combative local star Johanne Defay in this ASP 6-star and Pro Junior event held in Cap Breton.
Yeah, it's definitely monumental. 21st in the U.S. is so big, and a win out here at the Swatch event back-to-back is huge. Anytime you win an event and win it back-to-back, it's very difficult, because you kind of have a target on you, and you really got to step it up, and I always like to try to fight for it and have to earn it, and it was definitely an amazing contest for me.
Conlogue accessed the final thanks to her win in the semis against Hawaiian Malia Manuel with a 15.33 to 13.84, while Defay pushed back Nikki Van Dijk of Australia. Defay and Van Dijk also sparred for the junior final, with Johanne taking both of the event title and the European Junior crown with a score of 17.50 to 13.24.
I don't think really I was just in the thing. It's like you have to put the button in the machine and just don't think.
Thanks to this last, the second place result in Seignos, 19-year-old Defay now moves up to rank number 10 in the ASP Women's World Championship Tour. As the now official challenger Emirates Team New Zealand and the defender Oracle Racing crossed in the San Francisco Bay on their AC-72 Powercats whilst training for the upcoming America's Cup final, this week the very first Youth America's Cup was in the making. In line with tradition, American, Kiwi, and French crews played the lead from the early regattas on the AC-45s used for the World Series, with both fleet and match racing formats on the calendar. Designed to forge tomorrow's pro sailors, the new circuit is open to national teams for athletes between the ages of 19 to 24, and the AC Youth Trophy will be tied into all future editions of the Cup. With racing still taking place as this edition comes to a close, NC Sports will bring all the highlights, the interviews, and the action in the next edition of Weekly News. Meanwhile, more controversy and legal entanglements are hampering the path of the defender. The most recent measurement tampering case involving the 2 Oracle AC-45s and Ben Ainsley's bar is now seriously jeopardizing the position of key crew members on their way to the AC finals, including James Spithill, Russell Coutts, Grant Simmer, and other members of the crew. As the evidence emerged over the last weeks, Oracle Racing withdrew its 2 AC-45 crews from the past World Series and relinquished its world title in an effort to avoid certain disqualification. Sailors were grilled this week by the ISAF International jury hearings on these very serious allegations of potential cheating, which could lead to the ousting of some key players from Oracle Racing, and possibly scratching their very participation in this 34th America's Cup. Another option on the table includes docking points off the defender, which would place ETNZ in an even stronger position for the final. More developments on the next NC Sports edition. Plunge into the action with NC Sports.